good morning, viewers, and welcome to today's podcast, Studies in France. With us today, we are extremely honored to have with us Miss Hélène Iosifides, and you are here representing the French Institute, and you're here to offer your expertise and your knowledge on the application process to French universities. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Marianna, for the invitation. It's a pleasure.
We also have with us today Mr Christos Zottis, head of the French department, who is here to join our conversation.
Thank you for inviting us, Marianna.
So we can jump straight in it, and I'd like to ask you, Hélène, why is France such a great place for students to have their university years, to spend their university years?
It's a great question that could be covered in many, many ways, but I believe that the student years should be the best time of their life. So I truly believe that in France they will have many, many opportunities to grow up, to visit, to travel, to meet people, to make a lot of experiences, and that they will have the greatest time ever.
And highly ranked universities as well, very good universities. We're proud. We currently have students of ours, graduates of ours, studying in France. 2 or 3 students last year and a few the year before. So we're aware of the academic level of universities in France. What kind of courses do students usually and typically apply to in France?
Really, it depends from each year. Each year is very different. For instance, this year, most students, prospective students, are interested in political sciences and art schools. Actually, last year, it was more business and economics, and the year before, sciences and technologies. So really, really depends. But most of them are not necessarily into literature and humanities. Many, many Cypriot students choose France to study sciences and technologies, usually, and business.
Okay, that's great. That's great. What would you say would Cypriot students need, or would graduates from our school need, in order to apply to universities in France?
There are 2 kinds of applications. The one to the universities and the one to national schools of art or national schools of business or national schools of political sciences. So this procedure will be slightly different because they are very selective schools. A prospective student for a university program will need to have with him the grades of year 6 and the first term of the predictions year 7 to prepare for a good command of French language and a short, very brief personal statement and CV form texts. For art schools, of course, as you can imagine, they will need a portfolio. They will be shortlisted and be invited, if everything goes well, for an interview. So it's a longer procedure. They will also maybe require reference letters and a longer personal statement because it's a longer procedure.
Well, yes. Well, graduates of our school, they're graduating with the Apoliterion and the A levels, which we know are the qualifications needed to satisfy those conditions. Christos, I was just going to say the language qualification as well.
For those who have chosen French for the upper forms until year 7, they are covered regarding the linguistic skills that they must have. So they will get DELF B2. It's the minimum level of language that French universities ask for. So they are covered for now. Okay, now there are some universities, and correct me if I'm wrong, Hélène, that maybe ask for C1. It's some DELF C1. It's something that is already in our plans. So we can accommodate this level as well, but we have to do some changes. But it's in our future plans to be able to provide this diploma as well.
Okay, so from what you're saying and from what we've heard from Hélène, I think we're covered for the majority of universities in France. Our students are covered in terms of qualifications.
What I would say, if you want to enroll to a French university, it's not difficult, I would say. It's not difficult. Maybe it's the adaptation to their system that is a bit difficult, or it seems weird to our students
In
because
what way?
it differs from the English one.
Okay.
The French people, teachers, universities, are of the philosophy that I show you the way and you do your research as well. I'm not going to be by your side all the time. Ask me whatever you want. I show you the way and prove me that you are on the correct way and you can do it by yourself as well.
Okay.
This is their philosophy and what I understood during my studies in France.
From your experiences
Yes.
as a student. in
Am I
France.
wrong, Hélène?
You're very correct. But I would add also that I believe that is a true value of the French system.
Yes.
Because the graduates from the French universities know how to work. They know how to manage. They know to take initiatives, which is something that the French system offers by this specificity that they have in their way of teaching and transmitting knowledge.
Okay, no, that's great. Would you say that students need to be fluent in? We've spoken obviously about the French language qualification. Do students need to be fluent in French before they apply? Are there options of English-speaking courses that they can apply to and then learn French along the way, or would you?
It depends on the field, I would say. France is making many efforts to develop English-speaking programs in the French universities. Truth to be told, at the moment, they offer most programs taught in English at the master's degree level. So for first-year students, I would recommend to learn French, or some private institutions now offer many programs, but mostly we will find them in business schools, finance, marketing, management. Very few schools of engineering will offer programs 100 taught in English. But they should not cheer too quickly, because those schools that are great schools, also worldwide, very well known, will offer French courses during their studies.
During the studies.
Yes.
We have a graduate of ours. He's at ESCP Business School, and it's a brilliant business school, actually, with campuses all around Europe. And from what I understand, you change campus every year. Which I think is a lovely opportunity and definitely should be an option that students are considering if they want to study business.
Yes, you should be very proud. The SCP is in the top 5 of the Financial Times ranking right now. It's one of the top university for marketing, digital marketing and management. So yes, you should be very proud of this student.
What is the timeline for applications to be sent to French universities?
As many countries, we have a national platform for applications, which is called Parcoursup, that just opened now in mid-January. And we lock for the choices until mid-March. So what I would recommend is generally when a student is year 7, before Christmas, they start their research, their program of studies that they are interested in applying to. They can get some information from the platform, which is up to date by December, so that they are ready with a list of 10 choices. We allow up to 10 choices for each student, which is quite a lot, and many opportunities and possibilities. So that they are ready, because the list of the choices is usually the biggest work we have to do and the thinking where we want to apply, because we will have an enormous variety of destinations for, let's say, a bachelor in mathematics. So the most important work there is to also understand together or find together which destination is the best for each student. Maybe the environment, maybe the size of the city, maybe the weather, the weather counts a lot. Yes, it's funny, but actually there is no, as I always say, there is no silly criteria when we choose a destination, because it's important that the students will feel comfortable and happy where they are. So we draw a set of criteria and we choose a destination.
When we're applying to other universities in other countries, there's usually ranking. I mean, is there a French university rankings that students can refer to when they're choosing their 10 options, university options?
There are no rankings in France, since all French universities are public.
Okay.
So there are no rankings.
So it's just purely going by
yes,
city
every
and-
bachelor in every university is equal. There is no ranking.
Exactly. They all have the same academic value, which is very important. Although you will say other rankings worldwide, the QS, the Shanghai, Times Higher Education, they do rank also French universities in there. And as always, we should take into consideration the methodology of each ranking. If the employability of the graduates is a criteria important to us, if the number of scientific production publications in journals is important, the size of the university, we can set some criteria to...
The volume of research done by every university.
How did you pick your university, Christos?
I would say randomly.
Okay.
Yes.
Were you happy with your choice?
Yes. Okay. I tried to read a bit about the city, to see images, and to read some reviews if I could find back in time. And I wanted a city that it was cold in the winter, because
Where were you?
in Strasbourg.
Okay.
Yes. It's in the border with Germany. I was living 10 minutes from Germany.
Okay.
But it's a completely, purely French city. That was the reason. I mean, I didn't have specific reasons why I chose Strasbourg University, apart from the research that I could do back in time, because the internet wasn't that developed.
I was just going to say, well, nowadays, I think students have a lot more resources. Obviously,
Yes.
they have the careers department here at the school, also the French Institute, who is ready and available to offer such advice and guidance, so
Yes, of
that
course, yeah.
maybe that choice is not so random for future students. What role do extracurricular activities play in students' applications to France? Because we know, for example, universities in the US, they really value the hobbies and the interests and the extracurricular. Are these important parts of the applications to French universities?
Yes, very.
Yeah.
They dedicate four parts within the system, within the application, where they write about their personal extracurricular activities, maybe charity work, maybe citizen engagement, maybe arts, sports. They really consider, and I would say maybe even more than the grades. No, the grades are important, of course, but they pay big attention to the extra syllabus activities. Indeed, the distinctions that someone may have gotten from high school, and all activities, from arts to sports.
So it's important as well for French universities to see an all-rounded student with a wide breadth of knowledge and achievements in different fields.
Yes.
That's good. Is there any, obviously, after Brexit, the financial aspect of university fees is important to our students and to most students. Is there any help that is offered by the French government for students who are applying to universities in France? Or do the universities offer any scholarships or any financial aid?
You want to reply?
Yes, financial aid by the French government, yes, of course there is, for every single student.
Sorry, is that by default, or would they apply
Yes.
for it? It's by default. That's interesting.
No?
That's
Like,
true.
no.
Yes. All students are entitled to ask for a specific financial aid to cover a part of their rent
Okay.
and the housing assistance more. Any students, since from the moment that they are
Not
not
only the
working.
studies are free, but you have a social allowance as well
Yes.
for
Plus,
every single student. But there is a formula that they apply depending on the income of
Income.
your parents or taxation deductions. There is a formula that will apply to every student. I mean, if a student comes from a modest family, the allowance will be more money, let's say.
Okay.
Plus, as you mentioned, the university is free in France. For an undergraduate program, at the moment, it's 175 euros per year. For a master's degree, it's 250 euros per year. Because it's France, it's the French state that covers the cost of the students. It's a really important principle of equality that we have in France, as you know, equality and freedom and brotherhood. And this principle of
French
equality
Revolution.
is very important, not only written on the buildings and the monuments. It's important to France that any student that has the potential, is brilliant, could have a career, could study, will not be impeded by the cost of the studies. So this is why France covers from 10,000 to 13,000 euros per year per student, so that it's not on the shoulders of the parents or of the student himself, herself.
That's brilliant. I mean, that's a great advantage. That's a great reason why more and more students should be looking at French universities for their applications. Obviously, the good quality education, great place to live, and I mean, a free tuition. So important.
And France has not only a high level of studies to offer, but a very good quality of life. Because studying a country, it's not only the university that you have to consider, it's your social life as well. What the country has to offer, is it safe as a country or as a city? And France has a very high level of quality life to offer.
Was it as you expected when you went as a student? Or was there any
Yes.
culture shocks that you want to...
Not cultural shocks. No.
interesting or surprising?
Surprising experiences or
Experiences, yeah.
surprising. The only thing that we don't have here, the Cypriots, is the French courtesy. I mean, you listen to where you are, whenever, thank you, good morning. I mean, whether they mean it or not, you can hear it. So, and you appreciate it. Something we don't have here. I mean, that was a cultural shock because I wasn't used to it. To say thank you for every single thing or good morning all day long to everyone, constantly. I mean, okay.
So the gratitude and the
Yes.
constant appreciation
Yes.
is felt over there. So it all sounds great. What would you say would be a challenge maybe for students who are looking either to study in France or to apply to France? I mean, is there a challenging aspect of the application process that they need to be aware of, or of the actual studying in France that they should be aware of?
As we said, it's not a difficult procedure to apply to the universities in France within the platform. But usually what is a little bit misleading for the students, because they also prepare applications for the UK, for other countries, with other personal statements written in a different way, is that in France, actually, we expect a very short personal statement. And this is sometimes, as I said, misleading or surprising, because they have to change the whole content so that it can fit in a very, very short text. And this is a difficulty sometimes, to be synthetic but convincing in a very, very brief text.
And to the point then, I mean, if
Yes.
it's so
To the
short.
point, exactly, because the short is very limited in the.
But as long as
platform.
it's one statement, I mean, for all the universities, I mean, I don't believe it's something that students should feel is a challenge along the way. I mean, it's something that's doable. It's
Of course, of course. We try 1, 2 attempts and it goes very well. So no, it's not really a challenge. Maybe the biggest challenge is to find the cities, to find
Yes.
the destinations. It's what takes us more time to discuss with the family, with the students. If the city or the weather is important, or the perspective of the master's degree or the continuation of the studies there matters more. So it's actually the choice because.
Do French universities have contacts and like internships and networking with industry, with firms in France? Are
A
there
lot.
such opportunities?
Of course, thank you for mentioning this. This is really a strength of the French system. Even from the first degree, from the bachelor's degree, all students, regardless of the field, from sciences to humanities, they will have to take, it's compulsory, it's within the syllabus, and to take an internship, even a short one during the third year of the bachelor. And they will go for 2 months, and they will have to do it and write a report. And definitely at the level of a master's degree, they will go again, but for 6 months sometimes. It's really something that teaches us, trains our students also to deal with professional life and professional work.
It's prerequisite. Otherwise, you don't get your degree.
That's
Me, I
brilliant.
had to leave Strasbourg for 5 months and go to Grenoble to do my internship, stage in French. It's in the syllabus.
That's amazing because they don't only so they finish their degree and they've got the work experience as well,
Yes.
and they have they have work experience for their CV as well, which is brilliant.
And they have a first impression of what they are studying. I mean, because sometimes the study of a subject as such differs a lot from a
Working.
from a working from a profession in practice, let's say.
That's great. I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
very important. And to say that all universities, all courses offer that as a prerequisite,
Yes,
that's
yes.
also amazing. I don't think I've
In
not
bachelor
heard that.
and in masters.
I've not heard that from
Yes.
any other country, to be fair. Any final advice for students who are now, after watching our podcast, considering even more to apply
Not to be
French
afraid of the
university?
French language.
Not to be afraid, did you
Yes.
say?
That's one of their fears because every student, sir, I would like to go to France and study, let's say, science or medicine. Okay, medicine is something completely different in France, but I'm afraid of the language. Will I succeed? Will I have difficulties? Okay, at the beginning, you might have some difficulties, but there is no reason to be fear of the language. I mean, you will get used to it.
And definitely,
France has so many things to offer to students that the language is minor, in my opinion. I mean, okay, you have to know the language, but you do know the language. I'm talking about the students of 7th form or 6th form who are studying already the French language, and they are good. But still, they have some hesitations regarding the language because it's their second foreign language. They don't practice the language a lot outside the classroom. It's logic, okay? I can understand them, but they have to dare and go.
and it's different to be speaking the language from the time you wake up until when you go to sleep, and to use the language in your everyday life. And it's different just to use the language for an hour and a half every day in your lesson. I mean, I believe, yes, living in France, obviously, language is taken to...
When a student comes to me and say, sir, I will go to France, but will select an English-speaking course, I go to him, no, select a French one. Why English-speaking course? I mean, do your course in French and you will master the language after finishing. I mean, and it's a big advantage to be French-speaking.
That's where fear comes into it. That's why they're picking the English-speaking
Yes.
course.
But in English, okay, the fields are very limited for now. But
Do you think we'll be seeing more English-speaking courses over the years, or...?
I don't know.
That's the goal that they are working for, to attract more international students.
And in different fields. I mean,
In different
science.
fields, in sciences, yes. That's what they are doing now, trying to develop more programs. But every year we also see master's students, graduate students from Cyprus traveling to France, not speaking a word of French, and going for specifically nuclear engineering, cancer research, astrophysics, and going for a master's degree or a PhD. Taught in English, one of the top universities in Paris and Lyon and other cities.
Regarding the language, I always take the example of, let's say, Chinese people or people whose native language has nothing to do with the European languages. They come to France, they study. I mean, they speak French with a Chinese accent, so you can imagine.
But that's fine.
But they succeed and they thrive.
Yeah.
They don't only succeed. I mean, there is no reason to be afraid of the language.
And it's a shame for that fear of the language to be the reason why you don't take advantage of these brilliant opportunities that you've both mentioned today. Opportunities available for students, EU students, to study in France.
And there is also the possibility to go a little bit earlier during the summer and take maybe an intensive course at the city that while they will be studying in September. And to get to know the city best before they start, and also so that they will be more confident with the language. Since I know it's a fear for the students, they can be more familiar with the language. But they will be 17, 18 years old. It will be the first time abroad in a foreign country. With which maybe they don't have many links, have had many links until then. So of course it's challenging. Of course, even students with a great level of French proficiency with the C1, they will have some difficulties. It's not a matter of the proficiency of the French proficiency, because they do speak French, all of them. It's this confidence, and it's the beginning of a new adventure, and it's always frightening. So
it's the immediate, direct contact with the French language. This is what it afraids them. Okay, now I speak French and only French.
Yeah, and trying to.
That's their fear. Yes, they are shocked, I would say.
And get by day to day.
Yes.
In just the French language. What about the boys that are going into the army first, and then they're going to university? I mean, do they apply in year 7, or do they apply when they're in the army, or either? Is either okay?
Either okay. I would say for a national school, a business school, a selective school, it would be best maybe to apply from year 7 and ask for postponement, deferred intake, which is a possibility. There is also this possibility for university, but actually when the boys apply during their army year, there is no problem whatsoever. So it's either ways.
Great, that's brilliant. Okay, I think you've both covered anything I can think of regarding studies in France. So much information, great information. Hélène, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Merci à vous.
We will be sure to tell students that if they want more information that I and Mr. Zottis can't give to them, obviously they will contact you, or they will contact the French Institute. Thank you, Christos, for being with us today as well.
Thank you for inviting me, Marianna.
Thank you. And thank you for watching, viewers. Take care.